StarrSoaps channel. How are you today? I'm doing good. Today I'm going to be remaking my Lavender Love soap. That's right, one of the most popular soaps that I sell is the Lavender and the other one is the Rose. Those two soaps sell all the time and I have to be remaking them. So I'm going to go ahead and remake that beautiful, beautiful soap with goat's milk in and lovely lavender fragrance. So come along with me and I'll show you how to make it. Squee!
Okay, so first things first, we'll add our cooled lye water to our cooled oils, just like we always do. And in our oils we have a generous amount of goat's milk that's come from New Zealand goats, so that's really cool. So we're going to give it a gentle blend with our stick blender and bring everything to a light trace. And it's time to add our sweet fragrance oil and some essential oil. The fragrance oil is called white lavender cotton, and of course the essential oil is lavender. This makes a beautiful scented soap. We're going to keep this soap a very simple design with just plain white soap and a single accent colour. The accent colour is going to of course be purple, and I'm using Purple Berries Mica from micamama.com. And I love this colour. It is so shimmery and so bright, and of course I think it's the perfect colour for my lavender soap. So I give it a little bit of a mix and I go ahead now and add the titanium dioxide into the base, and that's just enough to lighten it. I'm not going for a really bright white, but I do want the purple to stand out nicely against the rest of the soap. We'll give this one a good mix with our spatula, making sure that we scoop up every last remnant of colourant from the bottom of the jug. We don't want to leave clumps of colourant that are going to come out right at the end of the pour. We want to make sure it's all thoroughly incorporated into our soap mix. I'm getting my big spatula for the big one and giving that a nice stir as well. And I think I'm about ready to go ahead and put this beautiful soap in the mould. So I'm going to be making a double batch, as my lavender soap is always a really popular soap and often sells out quickly. I've actually just realised I've run out of rose soap, which I usually find these two sell well together. So I do need to quickly get on that buzz and make some more rose soap. Quite often somebody will come to my stall and they'll only buy lavender and rose soap. It seems to be a staple. So I start off by pouring the moulds, filling them about 3/4 of the way with the white soap, and then I come back through and I pour back and forth along the middle of the mould my purple accent colour. And that would look beautiful just as it is. It would create a really unique drop swirl that you would see when you cut each bar. So I'm going to use this leftover white soap and pour it into these beautiful little Buddha molds that I have here that I made using Proto Putty, and I will leave a link below to that video where I'm making that mold. I'm actually finding that these molds are very durable and I've used them several times without any problems, so that's really neat. Now I'm going to go ahead and hopefully get a really magical swirl happening in my loaf after I've finished putting the last little bits of the purple soap, every last little bit that I can scrape out. And of course I'm using the hanger design. I love using my hanger swirl. It creates really delicate light swirls and you'll always get a different outcome depending on how thick your soap is. So for the very, very tops of the soap, I've mixed a little bit more of my Purple Berry Mica into some olive oil, and I'm just going to drip it across the top using my pipette. If I make big round dollops, I can drag my skewer through and create heart shapes. Or if I do lots of little dollops, I can just make a really pretty swirl all over the top. And if I fill the pipette just a little bit and then spray it, I can get a fine droplet look happening all over the top, and I can just leave it looking like that. What seems to happen is the soap will saponify that little bit of olive oil. It will draw the oil into itself, leaving behind a little crevice of beautifully sparkly design, whether it's a heart or a swirl. In this case, I'm just going for a swirl because I would also like to finish the very top of these soaps with a little bit of dried lavender buds. Even though, yes, I'm aware botanicals can and probably will brown over time, I can't help myself. I just love putting some lavender buds across the very tops of the soap. I just think it adds a really, really nice final touch. And of course, there's no mistaking what kind of soap this is. After sitting for the rest of the afternoon, and we're now late into the evening, the soap has hardened up and it's ready to be cut. I am using my multi-bar cutter as a guide and then using my knife to mark out each bar, and I'll then go ahead and cut them on my individual marble cutter. My main reason for doing this is that I'm not particularly happy with the thickness of strings on my multi-bar cutter at the moment. My husband and I are still playing around trying to perfect our homemade cutter, and at the moment the thicker strings were good because they weren't breaking as easily, but they're just so thick that they end up just almost like destroying the soap when it cuts through, and it frays the edges. It's really hard to describe, but it's something we're working on, so we're going to go for a slightly thinner gauge of string. That's the plan. And in the meantime, I'm just using my little marble cheese cutter, which is the thing I always used to use when I first started making soap. So it's kind of neat to go back to my roots a little bit, and it helps using that to mark out exactly where each bar should be cut so I can get lovely even bars. And of course, the other very important thing to remember when you're cutting a soap that you've put botanicals along the top of is you need to lay that log on its side so you won't get the drag marks of the botanical coming through the soap. Now, I've not done that here, so let's see what happens when I cut the soap. I've got little drag lines, and I do see them, but do I correct my mistake? No, it's late and I plough through. So what I should have done is I should have laid this whole loaf of soap on its side. That way each bar would have been cut with a nice smooth straight edge and no drag lines. Here we are, and all the soaps are cut, and I just chopped off the camera there because the battery was running out on me anyway. I've been feeling lately that for you guys, my lovely YouTube family, everything I try to do has been going wrong. I keep losing footage, my computer keeps crashing, the soaps aren't working out, so that's why my uploads have been a bit few and far between, and I apologize for that. But in the same breath, I would also like to thank you because it is those of you who are in the group over on Facebook that inspired me to make this very soap. I had seen you posting your beautiful creations, and it really helped me to get that soapy bug again and want to come out into the soap room and play. So thank you very much for keeping my love for all of this alive and for hanging in with me. I'm really excited to be bringing you all a custom soap project coming up soon for the winner of our recent 6,000 subscriber competition. That should be an interesting video. Stay tuned, and in the meantime, feel free to go back and watch the 300 plus awesome videos that we have here on the StarrSoaps channel. As always, feel the soapy love. Don't forget to subscribe, become a member of the StarrSoaps family, and I'll see you all next week. Bye guys!